Within the vast, unfathomable depths of the cosmos lies a world unlike any other. A world that's given rise to primordial magic and verdant life. It is a large moon that many sentient races call home. Amongst the ancient peoples of the Elderkin, there are several names that denote this realm. Mankind, however, has largely come to call this world by a singular, common name: Tyrrell. Tyrrell's etymology comes from the Old Luthnorian phrase kirinkarwai, meaning all that is under the sun. Throughout history, cultures of various civilizations have used religion, myth, and legend to explain how Tyrrell came into being. Thanks to the work of dwarven astronomers, we now have a greater understanding of where Tyrrell fits within the larger universe. Tyrrell is but one of many worlds within a solar system dubbed Mother's Children. At the center of Tyrrell's solar system lies Mother, a young red giant star of 1.5 solar masses. Mother is orbited by 9 planets, the third of which is a bluish-green gas giant named Sister. Tyrrell is the 15th of Sister's 18 moons. These moons often hold cultural, religious, or astrological significance to the various peoples of Tyrrell. They are theorized to range from fiery volcanic worlds to frozen wastelands of ice to craggy, airless rocks. None save Tyrrell have shown any sign of life. Beneath Sister's gentle glow in the starry skies above, Tyrrell is a lush world teeming with mythical creatures and ancient civilizations. At 3/4 the size of Earth, Tyrrell completes one orbit around Sister every 30 days, with a full day and night cycle lasting 24 hours. Sister and Tyrrell take 1,440 Tyrrellian days to complete a full solar rotation. Sister's orbit around Mother, combined with Tyrrell's tilt, introduces stark variations in the climate, which can be divided into 4 unique patterns. These are called quads by the Lesserkin and aspects by the Elderkin. These mark distinct seasons and climatic shifts on Tyrrell. When Tyrrell is closest to its mother star, it undergoes the roaring aspect. Here, the climate is more turbulent and dynamic, marked by intense weather patterns and energetic natural phenomena. In contrast, the tranquil aspect signifies calmer seasons and more predictable weather, occurring when Tyrrell is at an optimal distance from its sun. In the veiled aspect, Sister reflects much of Mother's light towards Tyrrell, leading to brighter nights and obscuring the stars. The final aspect, the revealed aspect, occurs when Tyrrell and Sister are furthest away from their sun. Days and nights are darker and cooler, but the shine of the starry sky is enhanced. This delicate celestial dance has given rise to the siblings calendar, the timekeeping system used by the shorter-lived races in Tyrrell. Each so-called Lesserkin year is the duration of a quad or aspect, which is 360 days long with 12 months of 30 days each. The longer-lived races of the Elderkin instead use the singing calendar, where a year is a full solar rotation. This calendar is divided into 4 aspect seasons, each of which is a single Lesserkin year. In the siblings calendar, the beginning of the current year started on the 1st of Field Rise, years 40 of the Third Age. The Third Age itself began with the War of the Dawn in year 0, which was the 2,914th year of the Second Age. Tyrrell's complex geology is currently in the midst of a long transitional state, slowly evolving from mantle and plume tectonics into the earliest stages of moving plate tectonics. Over hundreds of millions of years, plates occasionally rip off the crust, but eventually merge together again. Thus, Tyrrell's surface is mostly formed by volcanic activities, such as localized hotspots or upwellings of magma from below the crust. This, combined with Tyrrell's small size and lower gravity, has given rise to extreme geologic features. Towering mountain ranges pierce far into the heavens, vast island chains bridge narrow seas, and endless deserts sprawl across entire continents. Notably, the lands of Tyrrell are pockmarked with huge impact craters, primordial leftovers from the beginning of time. Tyrrell is home to a wide variety of different landscapes and biomes, but with both of the moon's polar ice caps being located firmly on land, Tyrrell has a slightly drier and warmer climate than Earth. Located at the poles is a complex nexus of Tyrrell's most potent source of magical power, the ley lines. The ley lines are great strings of mystical energy flowing underground like currents through the ocean. They are the source of the magical field, and their influence has greatly affected all life across the moon's surface. The ley lines are symbiotically linked with nature, their strength enhancing the impact of natural phenomena like accelerated plant growth, storms, and more abundant wildlife. In return, these ecosystems reinforce the overall stability of the ley line, giving it an anchor of sorts, allowing for more fieldic energy to be drawn, which feeds back into the system. The Elderkin, biologically capable of drawing strength from the field, have built their great civilizations above and within areas where the ley lines and the field are the strongest, leaving the ley line poor lands to the ranks of the lesserkin. The 5 great oceans of Tyrrell separate the land into 4 main continents: Cyrodiil to the north, Parthis to the south, Alesia to the east, and Laiai to the west. Traditionally, the supercontinents of Cyrodiil and Parthis are divided into eastern and western halves by the twin sets of mega mountain ranges, the Red and Farakanis. Each of these regions are unique realms in their own right, with their own countries, histories, and traditions. Let's start off with West Cyrodiil as an example. Comprising the westernmost peninsulas and islands on the Greater Cyrodiil supercontinent, West Cyrodiil is an ancient land home to many of Tyrrell's oldest nations. Both the elves and mankind's first civilizations are believed to have originated from here. Due to West Cyrodiil's early developments and favorable geography, many of the most powerful and influential countries throughout history have called this subcontinent home. However, due to these many competing empires, West Cyrodiil has long been a land mired in conflict and war. Unable to withstand the might of the Elderkin's vast kingdoms and empires, most of its lesserkin states were conquered or vassalized over the course of the Second Age. Lesserkin nations which were not outright dissolved were forced into subservience, often paying tribute to a patron Elderkin empire in exchange for protection. These vassals would frequently switch hands between the dominant powers of the era through proxy wars or political maneuvering. However, this ancient system would begin to crack as the Second Age gave way to the Third. The human republic of Vosgardia would become the birthplace of Tyrrell's Industrial Revolution, and its new technologies began to challenge the world's magic-based order. Although Vosgardia would be destroyed during the War of the Dawn, the technologies it developed quickly spread. Today, many of the formerly vassalized countries of West Cyrodiil have grown to become the most technologically sophisticated and developed in the world. Yet, this period of unprecedented industrialization has poisoned the environment, slowly degrading West Cyrodiil's ley lines and eroding the strength of its field. As industry continues its advance, relations with the Elderkin, already strained after the War of the Dawn, reach their breaking point. Both sides prepare for war, secretly, then openly. Once neutral nations throw themselves into military alliances, and the current peace becomes ever more strained. To many outside observers, West Cyrodiil is a powder keg searching for a spark. The only question remaining is where that spark will come from. Notable locations in West Cyrodiil include the Center Plains, the Nuk-Enkos Desert, the Zurus Mountains, and the greater Vosk River Basin. On the other side of the Red Mountains is East Cyrodiil, perhaps Tyrrell's largest region. The subcontinent spans from the frozen North Pole to the tropical jungles around Tyrrell's equator. The Red Steppe, located in this region, is the birthplace of the orcs. The region's coasts and inland seas are home to many exotic elderkin and lesserkin cultures. Often exploited by nations and empires from the other regions, the people of this subcontinent seek to restore their long-lost glory in the present age. While the era of the Orcish Wars is long past, the advent of the Third Age has seen more and more Orcish tribes unifying once more thanks to foreign technology and charismatic religious leaders. While here, the War of the Dawn is but a story from the other side of the globe, the Orcish Wars is still fresh, even after 900 years. Now, the nations of East Cyrodiil prepare for its second coming, while trying to protect themselves from the influence of outsiders. In addition to the Red Steppe, notable locations in East Cyrodiil include the Silver Peaks, the Storm Coast, the Ashan Forest, and the inland sea of Magyarr. Located due south of East Cyrodiil, across the narrow, jeweled ocean, lies Eastern Parthis. This region is a land very much unlike Cyrodiil. Its countries are vast, young, and underdeveloped. Long ago, ravaged by the horrors of the Ninth Gate War, the subcontinent is home to some of the most desolate, unforgiving, and underpopulated regions in Tyrrell. Wide swaths are filled with nothing but the silence of pine trees, the horrors of the past, and cold, unblemished snow. A handful of tribes wander the ground between isolated settlements and cities. Occasionally, travelers simply vanish in the wilderness, never heard from again. Few major ley lines pass underneath East Parthis, causing its lands to be scorned by the elderkin. Due to the sheer isolation of the region, much of Eastern Parthis is backwards, both socially and technologically. Here, industry is the exception, not the norm. Thankfully, conflict is rare due to most people's time being spent just putting food into their bellies. Unfortunately, nothing lasts forever, as the march of industry brings it ever further south. Lesserkin nations have started to jockey for resources, all scrambling for the promised miracles of technology. Tempers are beginning to flare, and while the war in the north has ended, conflict in the south may just be beginning. The vast Great Chains Archipelago, Tyrrell's largest and longest island chain, can be found off the northern coast of this continent. East Parthis's other notable locations include Goryan Crater, the cursed Cryorovarian wastelands, the Sea of Grass, and the vast boreal forest and tundras along the Bay of Knives. Despite being on the same supercontinent as East Parthis, West Parthis is an entirely different world. It's separated from the domains of the Lesserkin by the high Varakatus Mountains and the desolate shores of the Grand Gulf. Since ancient times, it has been a stronghold of the Elderkin due to its powerful ley line currents. They are the strongest in Tyrrell outside of the poles. Compared to other Elderkin states, the nations of Western Parthis have access to ancient and powerful magics unheard of in the other regions. Arcane powers such as telepathy, weather manipulation, and even necromancy are known to have been practiced here. The most visible expression of West Parthis magic is their awe-inspiring, gravity-defying architecture, a sight to behold for anyone who ventures into their lands. The immense prosperity and power of the West Parthis Elderkin, while impressive, has left them stagnant and isolationist. The borders of the nations of Western Parthis, hardly changed since the beginning of the Second Age, have given rise to the saying that the least valuable magic is the one which makes maps. West Parthis possesses a diverse cultural landscape, though the various cultures of West Parthis have slowly diffused into each other to form a shared identity, only maintaining smaller regional differences. During the War of the Dawn, West Parthis, as always, was slow to react. With their isolationist attitude, many considered the war an affair that did not concern them. It was only after the war that West Parthis became fully aware of its implications. In the current day, West Parthis has fully committed itself to the protection of Elderkin civilization across the world. Western Parthis is a shroud that hangs over all discussions about the next big war, a second War of the Dawn. Human military planners, once confident of their inevitable victory, now urge caution as the nations of West Parthis, gatebreakers one and all, wielders of the most powerful and ancient magics Tyrrell has ever witnessed, threaten to enter the fray. Notable locations in West Parthis include the Chakatoon Rainforest, the Saracen Desert, the Hascenthian Archipelago, and the Hattana Plains. Alasia is an island continent surrounded by 4 of Tyrrell's 5 oceans. It's famous for being the homeland of the enigmatic Cyclope race, and the only region in Tyrrell where they have their own countries. Alasia's ley lines are few in number, yet are unusually robust given their size. As the continent is centered around the equator, its climate tends to be hot year-round. However, cooler locations do exist in the form of a high-altitude mountain range. Alasia is often described as a land of mysteries, conspiracies, and ancient relics. Cyclops' magics are centered around divination, scrying, seeing far-off prophecies, and weaving complex stories and epics across history. Their magical proclivities, combined with their long lives and philosophical nature, means that Alasian politics is dominated by secretive organizations and their century-long schemes. Both the occult and ancient religions hold sway over the peoples of Alasia in ways few outsiders understand. In the land of the one-eyed, fraternal institutions and sovereign military orders often hold as much power as small nations. They frequently operate across Alasia's borders and maintain an oversized influence on the countries of the region. While these organizations can have nefarious intentions and be prone to corruption, just as often they are charitable forces for justice and equality. Alasia's history dates back to time immemorial. Ruins older than the First Age litter the landscape, their creators and original purpose long forgotten. Artifacts ancient to even the Elderkin are sometimes uncovered, containing mysterious and inexplainable powers. Some of these are even theorized to have been created by the Forgotten before recorded history in the era of myths and legends. Nothing on Alasia is as it seems. Plots hatched by its inhabitants millennia ago have a way of influencing the modern era. For in a world increasingly blinded by current events, the one-eyed are kings. Notable locations in Alasia include the Steropes River, the Clyclope Savannah, Jotnars Mountains, and the deserts around Jarsakas Gulf. Finally, we arrive at the last of Tyrrell's great continents, Laide. Laide is by far the most geographically isolated landmass in Tyrrell. Enveloped on all sides by the waters of the world's 3 greatest oceans, approaching ships face thunderous storms, brutal waves, and complicated currents. Located thousands of kilometers from both Parthis and Cyrodiil, Laide developed as a world unto itself. Often dubbed the Lost Continent, Laide remained hidden from the rest of Tyrrell throughout the entirety of the First Age and into much of the Second. Disconnected from the world for eons, Laide's unique flora and fauna evolved into strange and wondrous life forms unseen anywhere else. Giant fungal forests dot the landscape. Exotic creatures prowl besides carnivorous plants, and legendary beasts long thought extinct still reign supreme. Much of Laide's interior remains uncharted, even into the present. Each year, adventurers wander into the wilderness and return with reports of newly discovered species or unclaimed resources. For thousands of years, Laide's native races, such as the Elderkin Zana Yodel or the Lesserkin Mustelin, live blissfully unaware of the outside world's existence. This would all come to an end during the Second Age, when the continent was discovered by intrepid elven explorers following the tall tales spun by merfolk tribes. Unfortunately for the natives, these elves would survive and return to their countries of origin with fantastical tales of a hidden world. Liuzishan immediately became a target of foreign imperialism by nations such as the Three Dynasties, all wanting to claim dominion over the vast world oceans through the control of its sole landmass. Within decades of its discovery, significant pieces of the continent became a colonial playground, carved up by rival Elderkin empires who had little regard for the local inhabitants. New settlers from around the world flocked to its shores, all lured by the promises of untapped riches. Many of the natives were subjugated and displaced. Today, Liuzishan is a land of great diversity and unrest. Cultures from around the world live in close proximity, creating unique traditions through their close contact with each other. Now, as the old colonial order begins to crumble under the technological advancements of the Third Age, the future of this remote corner of the world has become an open question. Notable locations in Liuzishan include the Great Geode, Lake Rapikern, Noka Nora Caverns, the Feather Temples of Kadara, and the Great Crater Islands. And thus concludes our brief journey through Tyrrell. Though we've gone over each of the major regions, there's still so much more we have yet to mention. There's the Diamond Ocean that encompasses Tyrrell's upper atmosphere and contains massive floating ecosystems that never touch the surface. The Black Nadirs, the deep oceans only visited by abyssal merfolk. The lands below, where vast subterranean ecosystems stretch out beyond even the lands of the dwarves, and the frozen Arctics, inhospitable lands full of danger, riches, and vast undead hordes. Beyond even Tyrrell's boundaries lie other worlds, about which we know little, such as the accursed realms of the Forgotten that are hidden beyond the gates. But for now, I bid you farewell, my friends, and hope we can continue this lesson again in the future. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you're interested in seeing more about today's subject, head over to our website, where additional details about the fascinating world of Tyrrell can be found. Think you have what it takes to create new lore, art, or stories set within Tyrrell? Then visit us over on our Discord. We're always excited to see new proposals and new faces as we continue world building this ever-expanding setting. On our Discord, you could check out our progress, ask questions about Tyrrell, or even participate in special events. The link is in the description below. We want to give a big thanks to all of our artists and everyone else who made this all possible. Links to our talented contributors can be found in the video description. See you all at our next video. Until then, remember Vosgardia.